is dangerous.
Commander MK Jibril MNM for consultancy
Say no to drug abuse.
Welcome back to our channel, Drug and You, where we give you enlightenment programs on the dangers of drug abuse. Today we intend to talk to you, enlighten you, educate you on the impacts of substance abuse on education of a child, on a person's education, because the education is for all, not only for the child. As we all know, the impact of education on the society, on every human being, is unquantifiable. Education it is that mold the younger ones and prepare them for leadership tomorrow. Education it is that guides us on how to be a better person tomorrow. A society without education is already a destroyed society. No society can grow, no society can develop without proper education. As such, everyone needs education. But it gets to much of our concern, it gets to so much of our concern when the youths, who are supposed to be leaders of tomorrow, who are supposed to be guided, molded by educational system, gets involved in substance abuse. Because as they do that, the educational pursuit is totally destroyed. The two don't go together. Drug abuse and education, they don't go together. One will either stop the other, or the other destroys the second one. Drug will destroy one's education completely. But we try to see how education can stop an individual from drug abuse. And that's what we're doing now, enlightening the people, educating the people on the dangers of substance abuse. As such, it becomes on us, as the elders or the parents, to always check our children's educational career. It is not enough to say my child is in the school, my child is in secondary school, my child is in primary school, my child is in university. We should always find out the performance of that child in the school. Always find out the level of his achievements in education. And how does a father or a parent do that? You constantly check the school results. Constantly check your child's performance in school. At any time he comes back home on holiday, check his performance. The result will always follow from school. But how is he faring? Is he improving or going backward? It is now left for us as parents to try and cross-check the school scorecard that he brings home. What is the performance this time compared to his achievements last time? Is he improving or is he going backward? On the school result sheets, on the report cards that were sent home by the teachers, how is the child faring? Once you discover the performance is getting lower, once you discover that the child is performing poorly compared to the previous achievements he brings home, immediately contact the school, contact the teacher, make direct inquiry from this institution, either it's university, either it is secondary school or primary school or even nursery school. God forbid, we will say for the nursery school child to get into that level. But today, from that God forbid, we've been saying our children are getting even worse and worse. I think we need more prayers, because drug abuse has gotten down to primary school. It used to be the university level where authorities like NDLEA, non-governmental organizations, have formed drug-free clubs in schools to assist a university child in prevention of drug abuse. But all of a sudden, we discover that substance abuse has gone beyond even secondary school today to primary school level. As such, our attention should also go down to that elementary level and see how the child is performing in school. There are signs we will see immediately if this child is already into drug from his performance. First, the academic performance will be dwindling. It dwindles, it goes down, it depreciates from what it used to be. Your child takes one of the first, second or third position in the class. In every subject, it comes out with excellent performance, 70-something%, 80-something, 90-something%. But all of a sudden, you started seeing that this child struggles to pass 1 or 2 papers in the class. Why? What could have gone wrong? We should find out immediately from the school. A child that is into drug abuse, the academic performance dwindles sharply and immediately. And that will alert the parents that that child is into something else. So as you contact the school, you want to find out why the performance has gone so poor. Is it the school's fault or the child's fault? The stories you may get to hear from the teachers may perplex you. The stories you may get to hear from the teacher may shock you. It may surprise you because you don't expect that from your child. Your trust, your belief in him never go to the direction that he's going to do drugs or is going to abuse substances. But the school will reveal to you his behaviors in the school, and that will make you to form an investigative conclusion that this child is into substance abuse. First of all, you may get to hear from school that he's always absenting himself from the class. This child comes to the school regularly and is always in this class every day, but presently he absents himself regularly from school. If a child absents himself from class, from lectures, is bound to fail. Because what you cannot hear directly from your teacher, no classmate, no schoolmate can explain into details for you everything the teacher explains in the class. So if you are outside there taking drugs while your mates are in the school, taking lectures, you are bound not to be able to meet up with that lectures. And maybe when finally you come into the class to sit and receive lectures, so many other things follow. A child who is into drug abuse has short attention span. He cannot pay attention to anything for a long period. So even when the teacher is teaching, his attention is not there. His level of concentration gets lower. He cannot concentrate on what the teacher is doing or what is going on, the academic activities in the class for a long period. As he sits for a brief period, he wants to go out again. Or he's causing some distractions in the class. That is behavior, a typical behavior of a drug user, of a substance user. So you may get such revelations from the school that your child doesn't concentrate in the class anymore, or he comes to the class lately. Apart from late coming or not concentrating in the class, you may also get to hear from the teachers that your child is now a truant. He comes today, he doesn't come tomorrow, next tomorrow. Out of 5 school days in a week, maybe your child goes to the school twice a week or just 3 times. Surprise, surprise, you may say. Because this child leaves home every day in the presence of everybody, that he is going to school dressed with his school bag, and he moves out of the house. So, where is he stopping over? Where is he going? 5 days of school working days, of classes in a week, he leaves home that he's going to school. But the teacher is now telling you that they see him in the school just 2 times a week. It means as your child leaves home, he stops over somewhere to take substances. He meets his peer group who are drug users to get involved in drug abuse. And that is what is affecting his performance in school. So he does not just absent himself from school, he does not only go late to the school, he's now a truant. He doesn't even go regularly. And like I've told you, if he's into drugs really, when he even goes there, he's not concentrating, he's not paying attention, because drug will not allow him to do that. He has short attention span, he has poor concentration on what he's supposed to do in school. That leads to so many other things. And we say the poor attention, the lack of concentration in the class, much as affects the child, does not even stop there. The impact of drugs on a school-going child also leads to the child being a rule violator in the school. The day you go to school to find out what is wrong with my child's performance that is getting backward, you may also discover that this child is always in trouble with school authorities. He's always violating rules and regulations. He's always serving punishment, one punishment or the other, if it is a school where discipline is still upheld. Rather than have time to be in the class to concentrate in studies with his colleagues, the labor master or the school rules are taking effect on him by punishing him for all the bad reasons he's representing in the school. So he's always in trouble with the school rules and regulations, serving one punishment or the other, violating rules here and there. Is the one jumping fence in the school and jumping out of the school, violating the rules, don't go out at social hour. When it is light out in the school, students are resting and sleeping on their beds. He is out there taking drugs at the back fence of the school with his colleagues, with his bad peer group. They take drugs in the bushes around the school. They take drugs at the corners of the school at night when a child is supposed to be on his bed sleeping. Other students are sleeping in the school. At secondary school level, a child is jumping out of school in the night to go and take drugs and come back to his hostel. That child is already terribly deep into drug or substance abuse. It is much, much better if that school cannot get solution immediately to that child. The father should withdraw the child and take the child to a counseling unit. Otherwise, such children end up in what the parents may not want in the next stage of his drug abuse. And what is that? The school has to suspend him for being constantly a rule violator. For being constantly in trouble with school, it will get to a point where the school has to suspend him. Call the parents, very embarrassing, come and take your child away. We no longer can tolerate this child. Let him go and stay for a month or two with you at home. It's becoming a bad example to other students by his constant violation of school rules and regulations through indiscipline. Now they suspend the child. That's just the first step to a further embarrassment to the parents of a drug or substance abuse child. When he moves from the level of suspension, it is not enough for him to stop substance abuse because he has not been counseled, he has not undergone any rehabilitation. So he will continue in his behavior even when he comes back to school after suspension. What happens next is the school may be fed up with his behavior and dismiss him from his academic pursuit. He's driven away by the school if they no longer want him, if they can no longer tolerate his behavior. Once your child is dismissed from school, he gets home and falls back into wider society where he has further leverage to do drugs. And as such, he gets into the worst stage as a student. The worst stage is when you take drugs to the extent that the school dismisses you, because it doesn't stop there. The impact doesn't stop there. The implications does not stop there. It is not enough to say because he has been dismissed from school. There are other things that this child gets into from this level on. Whether the child has been suspended several times or now finally dismissed from school, it's not even the worst stage. It's not the worst situation. It's not the most embarrassing situation to that child and the parents. As a student, there are worse crimes they go into while in school and getting involved in drug abuse. In our next video, we're going to tell you more implications the children dip themselves into while taking drugs in school. So see you in our next video. Bye-bye.
Drug abuse is not good. Drug abuse is not good. Oh my yeah. If you want to live long, stay away from drug abuse.